pretty cool story that we want to dive into. So a local nonprofit is fighting homelessness among LGBTQ plus youth with a new direct cash assistance program. Even as it navigates the fallout from nationwide cuts to diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. You probably heard of this organization, Time Out Youth here in Charlotte will distribute $200,000 in direct financial assistance this year. Julie Kay, covering all things politics.
Our girl's here.
How were you in early for us?
Yes.
You got a chance to speak with Time Out Youth.
Yes.
Break down what this is and what did they have to say?
Yeah, and we've done a couple stories with Time Out Youth over the 2 years I've been here. And usually it's less positive news, so they were very excited to share this because this is actually a kind of a solution or a start to a solution. So they received a grant through just a federal program. They've tried this out in about 4 other cities so far, and so Charlotte is the 5th one where they get this chunk of money to distribute amongst youth. And it's not like you just go, here's cash and go. You get like a debit card type of thing to go through their pre-approved, it could be for rent, it could be for a deposit, it could be for, I have an eviction on my record and I need to get that expunged so that I can have more opportunities available to me for X, Y, and Z. And so this helps with a youth homelessness problem we're already dealing with in Charlotte. Specifically, though, of course, it's an intersectional issue. LGBTQ plus youth are particularly impacted, that have a harder time, getting, foster care or being accepted by families. So this, of course, is for 18 to 24-year-olds, people that are, just kind of coming out of that phase and need some help getting on their feet for the first time, really, as an adult. And so that is why this program is particularly cool, especially coming out of, you mentioned those DEI cuts of last year. Time Out Youth, a lot of the stories I did with them before were they're facing funding cuts. And so they were struggling to get funding, struggling to meet these growing needs for this community, and this, they say, is going to be a really, really huge boost for a big problem.
Yeah, a big deal because across the board nonprofits are struggling right now. We've had nonprofits on since the beginning of last year, and they've said the same thing. Funding is tight, and their funding structure is complex. It's not like a regular company. So it's different when it comes to how they use that money and the funding. Yeah,
and they're trying to get this funding from so many different sources. There's federal grants, state grants, local grants. You want funding from the city of Charlotte, the county. But with those, not just cuts to funding in general, because it's a hard financial time on a lot of people and a lot of businesses that would typically be giving right now. But in general, it is a lot harder for nonprofits that have diversity baked into their messaging. That is Time Out Youth's whole point, is to reach out to underrepresented communities. And so it is made it a lot harder for them to, you're not even allowed to use some of that language in these grant requests for some. It depends on the type of grant, of course, but it's become a lot more particular for nonprofits across the board, but especially for ones like this that are targeted at diversity specifically.
Julie, when can folks catch your story this evening?
4 p.m.
4 p.m. That's my show, so I'll see it. Julie Kay, covering all things politics. This is kind of political.
Government.
It's government. This all ties together. Everything.
Government adjacent.
Government adjacent. There you go. Julie Kay, thank you for stopping by the studio. Let's take a quick break. We'll be back here in just 2 minutes here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus.